No idea.
Yep.
We're up.
All right, the August 3rd Middlebury Town Council meeting will be called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Grant Kaufman,
Here.
Mike Holloway,
Here.
Gary Kripe,
Here.
Carl Miller,
Here.
and Kevin Miller.
All right, we have the minutes for the July 20th meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the July 20th, 2026 meeting as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, this time we'll open the floor for public comments.
My name is Pam Kaiser, and I live in rural Middlebury. I recently requested copies of the Middlebury Town Council oaths of office from the county clerk. The records show that only one of the oaths meet the legal requirements, and it was filed last month, 3.5 years after the deadline. The 4 remaining oaths lack an official seal, a stamped filing date, or both. The county clerk said she did not have the oaths on file and that the documents she provided were your personal copies. A personal copy is not the same as an oath deposited with the county clerk because it lacks a stamped filing date. Taking the oath, depositing a copy with the clerk, and seeing that it is officially filed was your responsibility. Unless corrective action has already been taken, I request the following. First, I ask that the 4 councilmen lacking valid oaths on file immediately submit properly signed and certified oaths with the county clerk. Secondly, I ask that the town attorney prepare a written legal opinion addressing whether the failure to timely deposit these oaths caused any council seats to become vacant under Indiana Code 5411. The opinion should also address whether a late filing can legally cure the noncompliance. What effect, if any, that failure has on actions taken by an improperly seated member, and whether the affected member may continue performing official duties while the matter remains unresolved. Third, if the attorney determines that any seat has become vacant, I ask the town to immediately begin the process for recognizing and filling that vacancy. Finally, I ask that by August 17th, the attorney's opinion be posted on the town's website and presented at the next council meeting for inclusion in the official record. I request to be notified by email if more time is needed. I have the constitutional right to instruct you, Article 1, Section 31, and a responsibility to hold you accountable when Indiana law is violated. Regardless of where I live, the statute provides a requirement, a deadline, and a consequence. I am asking the town to address all 3 openly and promptly. Thank you for your attention in this matter, and I have some copies of what I've said and the oaths that I received.
Thank you. Pam, I'm not sure if it was all explained to you at the county or not. All of our paperwork was filed with the county when we were sworn in. And when they moved, somewhere it's in a box they haven't unboxed yet, is what we were told. So that's
Mind
what.
if I address that?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so I didn't just get this information by email. I actually met with the county clerk,
Mhm.
and I don't know what that is, but whether, it's there or not, I have no idea.
And
All I
don't
can
either.
say is that when I requested it, they gave me what you all had, your personal copies. They had none. They said, Patty said they could be here somewhere. We don't know where they are. I guess the critical thing is with anything, if you file, you have to have your own copy. And this is a critical matter. And it's, I want to believe that that's the case. I'm going to tell you, I was shocked that this all happened the way it did. I was shocked. But the law is the law. And I looked at it from multiple angles. I've known this for a little while. And I knew this, is something that was concerning to me because everyone has to follow certain guidelines, certain laws, especially Indiana code. And that's all I can say. All I can say is it's not there on file. And if it's not there on file, and I know, Carl, that you filled out one just in July before they sent me the information and I received the updated one. So they know there's a problem.
Right.
But how to, if you go by the code, which is what I did, and the reason why I'm bringing this forward, this is quite a predicament to be in.
Yeah, and it's even more complicated because the clerk has changed hands since then. So it's an overlap, and we've looked into it, and they're supposed to be looking into it, so
Well, I think,
we'll have Jackson look into it too.
okay, I think the things that I requested will hopefully make some correction because it doesn't, I think to me, and the bottom line is that it has to be on file, and currently it is not on file at the clerk's office. They can't find it.
Right. Yep.
So,
And we only knew that because you asked. So that's the only reason we even knew it wasn't there. So kind of glad you know, because now we know.
right. But it would have been nice if somebody would have brought this up when you knew that I had requested the information. I guess I would appreciated it if it was a head-on thing. Hey, Pam, I know we got a problem here, but this is a serious problem. This is very serious. And that's why I'm bringing forward. That's why I waited. I wanted to make sure that I understood everything. I don't take this lightly.
All right.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Thank you.
Ms. Kaiser?
Yeah.
What prompted you to look for that information?
Well, it actually is a pretty simple answer. I wanted to see, after the questioning of my residency, I wanted to see what your oaths said. I've seen different oaths, and that was the only reason. And so I want you to know that what happens here is impactful. I probably never would have done it had I not been, felt like I was being put in a position that, even though you say it's not true, I was being put in a position that I felt that you all did not want me to speak. And you were putting me through these hoops to not get me to speak. And you know what? I'm a researcher. And this is unfortunate. And I hope it wakes everyone up.
So you want us to follow the rules and the laws, but you don't want to follow the rules and the laws?
But I have.
No, you haven't. Because as part of ours, we ask that you state who you are and whether or not you are resident or non-resident. So again, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, but I'm just saying you have not followed the rules that we have set forth. So for you to say that we're breaking the rules and breaking the laws, please look in the mirror, okay, Pam?
So, first of all, that rule is not an Indiana code? Rule?
It's a rule that we set.
Okay, but what is it about rural Middlebury that is confusing to all of you? I have said that a number of times, and it's not acceptable. You're demanding that I only use your words, and I don't understand that. So,
I could speak a little bit as to the rural question. I think part of it is that rural is more a description of the character and nature of property, not of its jurisdictional actual location. And the point of the rule is to clarify whether you live within the town or live outside of the bounds of the town. Rural Middlebury, I mean, there's farms within the town limits of Middlebury. So that alone doesn't necessarily satisfy the rule, at least for that purpose. So that would be one reason.
Okay, the only thing is nobody said that to me. They said resident, non-resident.
Yeah, and that
But
clearly
rural
makes
to
that
me
that map.
means I'm not in the town.
But that isn't really what the word rural means. That's a character of property. You
Is
know,
that
that's why we
defined?
say resident or non-resident.
Okay, is that defined anywhere in code or anything like that?
I
that
mean,
you know of?
you
But,
can
but again,
look in the
Pam,
dictionary.
we want people to speak. We want people to come and share their thoughts, ideas, their comments. That's great. We're so, but please know, under the Indiana Open Door rule or law, I guess, creating a public accounting of our records, determining speaking procedures, verifying public hearing requirements, understanding the speaker's interest in the matter being discussed, identify constituents, addressing community support or opposition for municipalities that are generally, that have what we have to do. So again, there's several reasons why we want or need to know if you or anybody is a resident or non-resident. That's simply all. We just wanted to keep it as simple as possible, but apparently, again, you don't want to follow the rules. So, I mean, what else are we supposed to do?
Okay, so first of all, I am not an elected official. I am not elected official. You swear an oath.
So you don't have to follow the rules.
I do not swear an oath to the Constitution. So I'm held in to a different standing than you all are as a elected official. That's, to me, a huge difference.
But we have a meeting to conduct, and in order for us to make informed decisions, we need to know who is speaking before the council.
But you know who I am.
We know who
it
you are.
keeps
So,
going
but-
back
so we,
to that
so we
every
give you
time.
an exception, we give everybody an exception. Okay, I'm done, Pam, I'm done.
Yeah, you said hoops. 2 hoops for every single person who wants to walk up there. You know, your name and resident, non-resident. That's 2 hoops. That's a lot to ask, Pam.
I think I've explained myself many times.
Thank you, Pam.
All right. Let's move on to expense vouchers.
I'll make a motion that we approve for disbursement the expense vouchers as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unfinished business, awarded contract for US 20 from County Road 35 to State Road 13 project.
Mary Kripe, Town of Middlebury, also town resident. So we received bids at the last meeting on July 20th. There were 3 sealed bids received, and Selge Construction was the low bid in the amount of $8,453,871.92. And so we're asking for council's consideration for approval and award of that contract. This is being paid for or funded by the interlocal agreement that we have with the Indiana Department of Transportation for that US 20 project.
Mary, I just have one question. Since the bids were so far apart, did this one get reviewed to make sure that everything was captured?
Yes.
You know, last thing I want is award it and then we got 27 change orders. So,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I went through the detail on this and like Selge in several places, like W27, bid item W27 topsoil, The estimated amount was $74,000. One came in at $425,000 and $425,000. One came in at $74,000 and Selge came in at $1,850. How can there be so much difference in topsoil? Maintaining traffic, item W64. One came in at 140,000, one came in at 150,000, Selge came in at 27,000. The estimated dollar amount was 199,000. How come there's so much difference there?
There's a
There's-
lot of difference in quite a few of the items. I mean, even the lift station and stuff too. Donahue went through everything. I think that they might have even called up Selge Construction and talked with them.
I don't know, there's just S17 structure backfill type. Estimated amount was 852,000. One was 494,000, one was $1 million, and Selge was $123.
It depends if they went out and did additional soil borings. I'm not sure if they did or not. But a lot of times the material here is suitable for structure backfill. Like on the Orpha Drive project, that's what we'll be using is the existing soil. If you want to wait and I'll ask Donahue to come and, talk through everything.
I think we all want the same thing. We all want to pay way less.
Mhm.
We want to keep the lowest price as possible, but we don't want to have a drastic
Change orders.
change orders
Mhm.
coming through. And I guess just look
Mhm.
like we didn't look at it closely in the beginning
Mhm.
because it is a huge difference.
It is
I mean,
huge.
it's 30%. So it's a big lump.
I think our engineers, what was the engineer's estimate
I
on
think he
that?
says around 10.
Yeah,
I remember
somewhere in
right.
that
It
neighborhood.
was
So it's
either
not
between 9
terribly
and
far
10.
off from
It's
that.
not far off from that, but
The
it's far
estimate.
off from the other bids. Now, I don't know if the other ones are just padded or if something,
Everybody rearranges their bids a little bit different, so
right.
But they didn't find any technical issues with things missing.
No,
It was just, they
All
said a
bid-
certain amount for topsoil, they said it's a much higher or much lower amount. So it was mostly in that area that,
mhm.
so
I don't know.
maybe they
Is
have a
there
bunch of,
any way we could get an explanation on that from them as to why they're so different? I mean, do they know how different some of those numbers are?
Yeah, they went over all of it.
Did they?
But I can ask them to be here. I can ask Selge to be here.
That would be great.
Mhm.
We aren't going to throw a timeline off or anything, are we? Or-
No,
Okay.
nope. And if I would have known, I would have asked him to be here tonight. I just
Sure.
did not know.
Yeah. I think that would be probably the best
Mhm.
best answer for that.
Sure.
Yeah,
You need a motion to table this?
Yes,
I'll make a
please.
motion that we table awarding the contract for the US 20 from 35 to 13 until we can speak with the engineering group and possibly the contractor.
I'll second. Oh, sorry.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, new business. At this point, we'll open a public hearing. We need a motion to open public hearing for ordinance number 727 for the second quarter additional appropriations.
I'll make a motion that we open for public hearing ordinance number 727 for second quarter additional appropriations.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Seeing no one rise, I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing for ordinance 727.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We can move to
action on the ordinance.
action on the ordinance now.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 727 for second quarter additional appropriations.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I double checked the math this time.
Thank you. Agreement amendment number 1 with Donahue and Associates for the Orpha Drive Sanitary Sewer Project.
So amendment number 1 is for the construction related services such as construction observation. That was not included in the original agreement. And so this would bring the total cost for the additional services, or the cost for the additional services is $97,150, increasing the complete contract to $199,050. Middlebury Redevelopment Commission approved it at their July 23rd meeting, and so we're asking for your consideration.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement amendment number 1 with Donahue and Associates for Orpha Drive Sanitary Sewer Project as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, JPR change order number 8 for water treatment plant improvements.
Josh Wyman with Jones Peacher Finsky, not a town resident, consulting engineer for town of Middlebury, managing the water project out there at the water treatment plant, Water Tower 1. Couple of things before I get into it. One, I didn't know it was Hawaiian Shirt Day. Sorry, left mine at home.
Yeah.
Didn't get
I'll
the
tell you, yeah.
And then the second thing is, I promise I'm not going to come to every meeting and talk about, more money, more fees for our projects. I promise that's not going to be consistent. It's just where we're at in the construction cycle right now with this water treatment plant project. So, from what I know, Mary hasn't given you guys the full change order 8 package. That's good. We're still working on really dialing in the pricing. It involves the main contractor out there, FCI Construction, and then a couple of their subs doing additional chemical feed improvements to the plant to be able to operate it fully in like 2 separate plants, like I mentioned the last time a couple months ago, with 2 treatment trains, with the new or the old detention tank, and that chemical feed system with chlorine and potassium permanganate. And then what we are putting in, basically duplicating the treatment plant with a new detention tank and valve vault, and then, trying to put in this new chemical feed skid for chlorine and potassium permanganate so they can operate the plant together and separate automatically. So those improvements include that. There would be some additional pipe work. Like I said, additional pumps for the chemicals themselves. There'll be some new small valves that they would have to put in and fittings and everything inside each building. If you've been out there, there's a separate building that houses the chlorine gas. So there'd be separate skids and meters and everything on the wall. And then in the potassium permanganate room, there would also be a new skid for being able to run each system independently. Now, before I get into that, have any of you guys or all of you guys seen this document before? The preliminary engineering report that Town of Middlebury and JPR put together. Started it in 2019. It's just a long-term plan. State of Indiana started requiring that all municipalities put this together to kind of focus on your next 5 years, your next 20 years of improvements, start putting it down on paper, planning for that funding, that construction. Well, we started it in 2019, updated it in 2022, updated it again October 23, and updated it for the most recent time at the beginning of this project, August 2024. That was a 3-phased project. First phase we're in right now, that's new water tower number 1. That's the oldest water tower you have. Replacing that, and then updating everything that needs to be updated to the plant. Plant, 20 years old, needs to be updated, needs new equipment, needs to, run more efficient, stuff like that. So that was the project we're in now. Second phase is water tower number 2, obviously, next oldest one. It's up to 50 years old, looking at funding, replacing that. That's already in the books, we're already in the planning stages for that, looking at land, and everything, where it's going to go. Phase 3 is the big ticket item for that is the water treatment plant expansion. Now, the treatment plant, it's built for your current demand of the system, the number of residents you have, daytime demand. That was, the design with population projections and everything back in 2006, 2007. Around that time, and then expanding that, we'd have to add on not just what we're adding on with the first phase with the new tank and the new chemical feed, but it would be adding on another filter, pressure filter, so that way you can increase the number or the volume of water that can be treated at one time. That was a part of phase 3 project. Now, other items that were included in phase 3 were security improvements, lighting, cameras, perimeter gate, updated computers and SCADA and everything like that. That was all included in the phase 3 project. As you guys know, those items got included in the phase 1 construction once we were getting closer to construction. That was back in 2019 when we started that. When we got closer to 2023, 2024, it was made aware from the operations staffs that was more important. Security improvements, lighting, stuff like that. So we included that in the phase 1 project. Well, as we're going through this project and we're understanding a little bit more about the plant, we're understanding a little bit more about how Steve runs it and his crew wants to operate it as a single train, have a little bit more versatility, be able to go back and forth between the 2 systems. We're starting to feel like it's a need to have this, be able to have a entire duplicate chemical feed system. So that way he can operate both systems independently, also together. And then if there's a increase in demand for the system, he can run it all as a complete bigger system, and it still treats the same amount of water and more. So any questions? Did I lose anyone? I'm trying to break it down a little bit. And if you haven't read this document, I would encourage you to read it. It kind of goes over I think there's 15 or 16 different alternate projects that we looked at. It goes over operational needs, population projections, how much firefighting capabilities you would need, how much water you'd need elevated and storage tanks to be able to satisfy requirements for fighting fire for a community of your size. It goes over our whole timeline of construction from phase 1 all the way to phase 3. I will forward you the updated document just so you can flip through it whenever you have some time. But I would encourage you to look at that. But that's kind of where we're at on this change order. Is once we're nearing the end of this water treatment plant project, we're at about 90% complete right now. Seeing that we have contingency, seeing how much the town operations staff would benefit from having this additional chemical feed system, just asking for for you to look at that and review that. Pricing, so our initial quote that we got from the contractor was $103,633.69. Like I said, about a week or two ago, we got this pricing, and one of the subcontractors gave a price that was a lot higher than we were expecting. So we met out there twice and walked through it and refined their scope a little bit. So it's going to be less than this. I just don't have a quote definitively on how much less it's going to be. It was the plumbing contractor who had a quote for $35,000 to just do the internal plumbing work, and I know the materials alone are like $5,000. So I barked at them a little bit, and I'm hoping to have revised pricing by Wednesday from them, and then we will send this full package to you guys to review. But based on the worst case scenario, this being $103,633.69, that takes the full contingency for the project up to $519,000, roughly. And our full contingency that we have for the current loan is $870,000, and that includes the contingency that was built in for the full project, which includes the water tower. And last time we talked about a change order, I said that we are nearing about the 50% contingency level. This would take us over that. But I also want to, I guess, reiterate what we also said last time was the water tower. We're not expecting nearly as much change orders. And you said the contingency. They have already finished most of the groundwork. The foundation is entirely in. We have the same contractor building a similar size tank over in Bristol, and there's only been one. It's almost done. I mean, you guys, if you haven't been over there, it's almost done. It's about 95% complete. There's only been one change order, and it was for less than 10 grand. So once they get it to the foundation in, and they're just going vertical, it's pretty much a package deal for Phoenix. They already, have the steel pre-made at their facility. They just got to come up here and assemble it like Legos. So, just, I know that doesn't make you feel better, but that's the truth. So
Well, it does a little bit.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to finish on tonight for this change order?
No,
because we
I just-
don't have a number.
No.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to get in front of you,
Yeah, we appreciate that.
because I didn't want to throw it all at you and then say, okay, make a decision. I
Appreciate
just
that.
wanted to lay it all out for you.
Good.
Appreciate
We
you doing
it.
that.
So-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you should hear back from them this week, you said?
They
So-
said Wednesday. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I will get revised pricing. Well, they actually said end of business Tuesday, but I'm not going to hold them to it because they told me end of business Friday. So Wednesday of this week, I will send the full revised package to Mary and Shaylee. We'll get it to you guys.
Okay.
And then we'll discuss 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Any questions?
Nope. I know it's easier
I know
when we have
that's a
something to
lot.
look
I
at.
know. I know.
figure it
that's a
out,
lot.
but-
And we'll get you this PER document as well.
All right.
Thank you, Joshua.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. All right, Mary. Request to accept and pay you US 20 land easement parcel B.
Yeah, so parcel B is in the amount of $23,190 for the easement, and we're asking for your consideration. Again, this is part of the NDOT reimbursement package, so if you have any questions.
Thank you for the appraisals and again, documents that you've sent through. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll make a motion that we approve the request to accept the pay for US 20 land easement parcel B as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? I actually have one. Just to reiterate, this is the formula that you were given by the state, asked to, by them to go ahead and fulfill these purchases, and then they reimburse us for it, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, we need to pay for it up front.
Right,
And then
right.
once we get the canceled check and all of that, then we package it all together, give them all the documentation,
Right.
and then submit an invoice to them, and then they review everything and then they pay it.
yeah, I just didn't want it to sound like we were buying the parcels for us.
Yeah, and these are easements, and so we have to pay 90% of the value
Okay,
of the land and improvement. Well, 100% of the improvements if we're removing something.
okay.
Can we approve them all at the same time?
I don't know, we'll do B. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion that we request, accept, and pay the US 20 land easement for parcel C.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second?
Sorry, just to clarify. So this one's in the amount of $3,520, correct?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye. I'll make a motion that we approve the request to accept and pay the US 20 land easement for parcel D in the amount of $17,400.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
I believe this one is in the amount of $17,400.
You just said that.
Oh, I'm sorry, my fault.
I got that one. It's okay.
Just make sure you know.
So it's 17,400.
It's not 34,800. Like, we're not doing it twice.
All right.
So, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Request to transition to BS&A payments.
Oh, skipped one.
Oh, sorry. Sorry,
Restoration of
my fault, sorry. Request for payment for restoration of 928 South Main Street.
So with the backup at the Hardwoods lift station where the transducer and the floats became entangled in rags and there were no alarms going off at that lift station, it caused a backup, and we know from past experience where that happens because of when we had the storm or the snow melt over at Jayco, and this whole thing happened. So 928 South Main Street is the first place that gets to receive sewer backing up into their home. Last time, it seems like this happens at the most inconvenient time because I think they were in either Jamaica or the Dominican when this happened. So anyway, they had Paul Davis Restoration come out and remove the carpet and do different things in the basement. And then this is the quote from Paul Davis for the restoration, the part to lay down new carpet and everything. The total is after you remove the tax, because we'll give them the tax exempt form, it's $11,359.98. And we're asking for your consideration for approval to do this work.
So this is the second time this has happened with this? Is there not a backflow preventer or a backflow valve?
So
Did it fail?
no, there's controversial items with backflow preventers because they can fail. There can be problems with those. So, I mean, if that's something that you want me to force them to do, I can, put that in a documentation. This was 100% our lift station failure. When you're not getting alarms and things are tangled up.
Do we know where all the rags are coming from?
I-
Pick a
it-
spot.
Yeah, pick a spot, throw a dart it's everything on that south side that's
Is it
going
one of
to
the
it.
businesses though? Not just one. Is it the businesses most likely?
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
all that basically goes there. There's just maybe 5 houses that go to that lift station.
I'll make a motion to approve the restoration of 928 South Main Street in the amount of $11,359.98.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, we're going to request a transition to BSNA payments.
So currently, the way that we allow for online payments is through Invoice Cloud and a contract with them that does automatically renew set in October. So that is something that would need to be terminated if we wanted to move forward with BSNA payments. BSNA payments would allow us to actually take debit and credit cards here as well as Apple Pay and Google Pay. It would open us up to not just utility payments. We could do it for other fees and services. So, and then it would immediately print out a receipt, get posted into our system. There's next to no delay on that. It's just an addendum in with our BSNA software product. I did send that to Jackson for his review. I don't know if he's had time to really look it over or anything. The only cost to us would be to get the actual payment device.
Oh.
Which I think I think I had been quoted via the email around $400. I think it's in that package of information.
Yeah.
The cost of that device, but it feels like it's a smart move to make. And it would be great to do it during our transition time anyway, to just go ahead and cut off Invoice Cloud and not have to worry about them and just have everything with BSNA. But that's my opinion. So if we have to extend the Invoice Cloud contract, we do. I would like to try and at least maybe negotiate with them because it renews on a 3-year term. So maybe if we had to extend it, just maybe out to the end of the year or 6 months or something. But again, I can't tell them we're terminating until I know we've got something else in place. We're trying to push information out in the newsletter as well, saying that Invoice Cloud will no longer be accepted. We would be switching over. So if anybody had automatic payments set up through Invoice Cloud, they're going to need to switch over. And we know that'll probably cause some hiccups and some late payments, and we can waive some penalty fees probably, most likely, if that's the situation.
Well, and when we made the switch to BSNA, part of the reason for that was to be able to
Mhm.
set up stuff like this.
Correct.
So, yeah, just makes sense.
I think it just kind of got missed with everything waiting to get signed with the contract and with BSNA, and because I was like, I had never received that contract, and they were, and they were like, oh, well, let's get that to you.
Yeah.
So, do you have any comments regarding?
This is a different one than the software contract.
Correct, it's an addendum to it.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Send it to you, and it's in the packet. But if we need to hold off until your review, that's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, I would be more comfortable after Jackson reviews it just because it's a contract.
Is that a motion to table?
Get a motion.
Motion to table.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Request to close town hall for employee training.
I know. So part of our training with BSNA, they request to have at least 1 day of no interruptions with us while they're on site. That day, based off of scheduling, I would like for it to be Tuesday, October 6th, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And so it's really close to when bills are due, but I wanted the office to at least be open that Monday following the weekend. If we could have it closed Tuesday. that would help us, so that way we can get that training done and then still also have time to have the office back open before bills are due.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the request to close the town hall for employee training on October the 6th of this year.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
Again, we'll push that information out in the newsletter. We'll put it out on Facebook. Just have to get approval before we say, oh, we're doing it.
All right, any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Request to sell the Dodge Charger at Bright Star.
Yeah, car 8, the 2019 Charger, it's been stripped, it's out of service, it's ready to go to Bright Star. I don't think the auction is till late September.
September or
September.
something, I saw the sign.
I think the sooner we get it up there, the more publicity it gets.
Mhm.
The last one was only up there a few weeks and didn't get quite the publicity, but
I'll make a motion that we approve the request to sell the Dodge Charger, the 2019 car number 8 at Bright Star Auction.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Marshall. Discussion on the public comment rules.
So as you may or may not be aware, rule number 4 states that attendees submitting public comments must, and that's the word we're looking at, must identify whether or not they are a resident of the town of Middlebury. As the rules state, if they don't, then we need to issue a warning. So, it was discussed at Redevelopment Commission, but obviously Redevelopment Commission doesn't have the power to do that for the town council. But the thought was is if we wanted to either expand and use like cards, as people sign in, or do we just want to change that from must to may?
I'm perfectly fine with changing it to may. If someone doesn't identify themselves as a town resident, we can take it upon ourselves to assume whether or not we put weight to the comments. If we don't know they're a constituent, then we decide what weight the comment has. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Those that identify themselves as town residents, that we would apply that weight as we see fit.
So we know if we're just assuming.
So we could add something if we wanted to, like the Elkhart County Commissioners meeting says, a speaker may state their street address if they believe it is relevant to the issue presented. If the speaker does not state their address, and does not place it on the registration card. Again, we don't have a registration card. The commissioners will deem the address of the individual to have no merit of the issue. So I don't know if we want to go that far to add that if they don't state where their location of residency is. Again, I think it's going to make it very difficult for us to know who our constituents are and, to follow the rules. So again, as it stands, if a public comment does not state their residency or non-residency, we have to issue a warning. So, it's either change rule number 4 or issue a warning.
Is the language that we may issue a warning, or that we would, like, we must issue a warning, or the council must issue a warning?
Well, it would be sort of discretionary. Let me pull them up.
Rule number 12 does say the presiding officer may issue a warning to the attendee, well, it says who disrupts the meeting by violating any of the rules adopted herein. So, again, that would be in violation of the rule. So, again, the presiding officer may issue a warning.
It does. I don't know if that helps
Well,
Any-
let's look at the big picture. Why was it put there? Why was the rule put there?
So that we know whether they're
So we
a
know
constituent,
if they're
a
a part of the town
resident.
or not. Because our jurisdiction is in town. Say
I-
that nobody out of town has worthwhile things to say. It's just, we need to know.
Right, we need to know who's speaking before us. And, you know, whatever issue that it is that they have, or whatever comment that they have.
And redevelopment follows the same, the same policy, but for redevelopment versus council. Is that correct?
Right, so we wanted to bring it before the town council to see what the town council
Sure.
thoughts and ideas were. And
Well, the warnings, as it's stated in there, are discretionary by the presiding officer, so we don't have to issue a warning. I'm fine with the language as it is. We do need to know whether somebody lives in the town of Middlebury or not. If we don't know that, then everybody's comment is, we can say, oh, that doesn't count.
so a non-resident would have the same weight as a resident.
No, they would
No.
have the same
No,
lack.
No, but that's
They
what
would
you're,
have the
that's what
same-
you're saying is
No.
if we.
They would have the same lack of weight.
Of weight.
Right.
If you want your comments to matter to the council, tell us you're a town resident. If you don't tell us you're a town resident, then you don't care whether the council puts
Yeah,
weight to
where
the
you-
comment.
It has no weight.
It matters how it's worded or how it's put there. Desire is not to make it combative or a problem.
And I don't think
It's
that
just
it
for
is.
clarification. Really change anything. I'd like to see an opportunity to look at a different way it is. If it's said, anything is said. You know, how it would lay it out and the ramifications of changing it. I don't want to change the rules. Just without giving it any weight. And all we got in the notification was that we're gonna talk about it. I didn't know why,
Sure, sure.
so. I don't know. Any thoughts?
I don't see anything wrong with the current one. I'm kinda like Ken.
Kinda
If
like
it's not
Ken
broke,
thinks.
don't fix it. As long as we're within the ordinance is within the legal ramifications, legal outlines.
So if a person makes a comment and doesn't state whether they're a resident or non-resident, we have a choice to either give it no weight or,
If they have done what they're supposed to, you're gonna know. If they refuse to, then we're back to the, was it Rule 12 or wherever, where they can be given a warning.
And that's
That's it.
discretionary.
I think
But
we're,
If they don't state it, then it carries no weight.
That's how I'm gonna see it.
I mean, that's the way it's written now. Is that correct, Jackson?
Anything to add to that? Any wisdom?
Do.
Oh,
I mean,
or,
so if we leave it.
I
if-
can, the reason it was there in the first place was because they felt the town council at the time felt it was relevant to know whether they were in town or not a town resident.
which I agree with that.
It's
I
that
think
you
it
don't
is
have to
relevant.
do that. You don't.
Cause we know a lot of people come through here. We don't know, I don't know everybody in town. It changes all the time.
But I think if we add the verbiage that says, if you don't identify whether or not you're a resident of the town, then your comments may bear no weight to the council in deciding or making a decision on the matter at hand.
So give them the option if they choose not to.
So if you say may,
identify.
right, say may, so we put in the rest of the wording that says, if you choose not to, fine, just understand that the council may add or lend no weight to the comment that you're making on the matter at hand. Doesn't mean we won't listen, doesn't mean a good idea won't come out, doesn't mean information might not be useful. It just means that if I don't know you're a town resident, then I could choose to
We can
not put
choose-
any weight to
we
that
can-
because I
we
get to
can
make it,
choose what it is-
right,
what
because I'm
it's-
making a decision
yeah.
based on the people that elected us,
Mhm.
which are the town residents. So, I don't have to, but just, and we could put it in there or to say, just understand that your comments may carry no weight. So, because if I don't know, that's how I'm gonna do it. But let's tell you, if I don't know, or if I know, I'm gonna base the weight of the comment on the matter at hand based on whether or not you're you're a citizen of the town. That's how I'm gonna judge that comment. Because that's who elected me,
Mhm.
so.
Their courtyard. Where we have jurisdiction, that's it.
So avoid the fight, say may, just understand. You don't tell me you live in a town, then your comment has no weight to me.
Mhm.
I guess my only comment to that is, the second part, we can change it to may, no problem. Whether or not we make a
Yeah, we don't have to,
general policy statement, that's up to each individual town council member, and
yeah,
I just
correct. I
wouldn't
agree.
have it as a
I
rule.
agree.
Right.
Yeah, I only said if you know, if you want to make that clear, fine, but
I think
just on the record, that's how I'm doing it. Yeah, right.
And please understand, we weren't looking for an action tonight, just to begin the discussion, because again, if the word must is continually violated, then what stops, people from disorderly speech, advertising, promotion? I mean, again, if we don't, if we're not following the rules, then,
Change it.
possibility people are gonna trample on the other things that, are in violation, so.
Change it to may and the others are very clear.
Well, but
And then
then
each
I think
individual-
like that though, then it comes down to somebody giving a warning. If
Right.
there's continual violation, then, and you want it to stop, then you've got to press whoever that person is to say it's time to issue a warning.
Again, just something to think about, if something that you would want to change. Again, it would have been nice if we were approached to make a change, but since we were not approached, I guess, we feel that, again, something needs to be done. So either we need to enforce it or we need to change it. So that, I guess that's where I was coming from, so.
We could also do like a work session on it if you wanted, or a joint one with redevelopment members and council too, to discuss it.
Well, I think at the redevelopment commission, it would be easy just to follow the
Right.
guidelines that the council
Right.
agrees
Right.
on, and that would be
Yeah.
easy. Well, since we're just
I'm
discussing,
worth giving some thought to it anyway.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Mhm. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. All right, announcements. Elkhart County Regional Sewer District meeting, August 5th at 5 PM at the Public Services Building. Elkhart County Redevelopment Commission meeting, August 6th at 2 PM at the Public Services Building. Middlebury Tree Board meeting, August 6th at 7 PM here at the Town Hall. Sorry, we'll be missing Mike. Elkhart County Plat Committee meeting at 9 AM at the Public Services Building. Elkhart County Plan Commission meeting at 9:30 AM on August 13th at the Public Services Building. Sorry, the Plat Committee meeting is August 13th also. And the Next Middlebury Town Council meeting will be August 17th at 6 PM here at the Town Hall, and we are adjourned.
Oh my God. Huh? You took my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Here you go. Very pro.
All right.